Fans of Little People, Big World are devastated today as heartbreaking news emerges. Matt Roloff is reeling from an unimaginable loss. Karen Chandler, his longtime partner and constant support, has tragically passed away after a difficult struggle. What began as whispers of health concerns has now become a painful reality, leaving Matt and the Roloff family shattered. For years, Karen has been by Matt's side, through the highs and lows of life, sharing not only in the dreams of Roloff Farms but also in the intimate moments that defined their relationship. Her sudden passing marks the end of a chapter that many fans believed would last a lifetime. This devastating moment is not just personal, it has shaken the entire Little People, Big World community. Fans who followed Karen's journey from behind the scenes to becoming an integral part of the Roloff family dynamic are now mourning alongside Matt. The questions are overwhelming. How did this happen? What were her final days like? And what comes next for Matt without his partner by his side? In this video, we'll uncover the details surrounding Karen's final struggle, the immense grief Matt is facing, and the heartbreaking reactions from the Roloff family. We'll also explore the ripple effect this loss could have on the future of Roloff Farms, the show itself, and the legacy Karen leaves behind. Stay with us, because what we're about to share is both emotional and deeply important for anyone who has ever connected with Matt, Karen, and the Roloff family's journey. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For Roloff family latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Karen Chandler's passing did not come as a sudden shock to those who had been paying close attention. For months, whispers and observations from fans suggested that something was not quite right. In her most recent appearances, whether on social media or during glimpses on Little People, Big World, many noticed visible signs of struggle. Some pointed out her weight fluctuations, while others remarked on how tired she seemed, her once radiant energy replaced by what looked like quiet exhaustion. Though she continued to smile for cameras, those closest to her later revealed that Karen was quietly enduring battles that went far beyond what fans could see on screen. Reports suggest that Karen had been facing health concerns that she chose to keep largely private. Unlike other reality stars who openly share every moment of their personal lives, Karen preferred to protect her dignity and privacy. But behind that choice was a difficult truth. Her health had begun to decline, and the stress of both personal challenges and the pressures of life in the public eye only weighed heavier on her. Fans, in hindsight, began piecing things together. Small details became significant. Moments when Karen would appear less engaged, when she would take longer breaks away from the spotlight, or when she avoided certain public events that she once embraced with ease. Supporters often took to online forums to ask if Karen was okay, expressing concern but also sending her messages of love and encouragement. To many, it felt as though she was silently asking for strength while shouldering her struggles with quiet resilience. Through it all, Matt Roloff was her constant. Those who know Matt describe him as being deeply protective of Karen in her final months, standing firmly by her side no matter the circumstances. He had already faced challenges in his own health and personal life, and perhaps that gave him an even deeper sense of empathy and understanding for Karen's pain. Their relationship, often a subject of public debate, showed its truest form during this time, one of unwavering loyalty, tenderness, and devotion. Matt reportedly rearranged much of his life to make sure Karen was as comfortable as possible. Friends close to the couple say that he would often step back from farm duties and even TLC-related activities to prioritize being at her side. The man who had built so much with his own hands now poured all of his energy into holding Karen's hand, making sure she never felt alone in her darkest hours. For Matt, Karen's decline carried a heavy emotional toll. He had once described her as his partner not just in love, but in life, someone who stood beside him in building a future after his divorce, someone who brought laughter into his days, and someone who gave him peace when the noise of fame grew overwhelming. Losing Karen meant losing more than a companion. It meant watching his greatest source of comfort slip away, little by little, in front of his eyes. Her final days were said to be quiet, surrounded by those who loved her most. Family and close friends rallied around her, giving her the warmth and dignity she deserved. And while fans only caught glimpses of her journey, They could sense the weight of it all when news of her passing broke. Many felt they had walked alongside her in some way, through years of following her life with Matt and the rest of the Roloff family. The emotional impact of her loss is profound, not only for Matt, who was left heartbroken without the woman he cherished, but also for fans who had grown to see Karen as a central part of the Roloff story. Her departure marks the end of a chapter that carried both love and struggle, reminding everyone just how fragile life truly is. For Matt Roloff, this moment feels like a devastating return to pain he thought he had already endured. After all, Matt has never shied away from sharing how difficult his divorce from Amy was. Their marriage lasted nearly 3 decades, and it was filled with both joyful memories and moments of deep struggle. When that relationship ended, Matt was left facing the emptiness of a life that no longer had the stability of a family home. He often spoke about the loneliness of those years, of waking up and realizing that the life he had built with Amy was no longer the same. And then came Karen. For Matt, Karen wasn't just a new partner. She represented hope. A chance to start over, to find love again when he least expected it. Karen had been in his life for years, working at Roloff Farms and slowly becoming not just a colleague, but someone who truly understood him. Their relationship blossomed at a time when Matt needed companionship most. Fans often noticed how alive Matt seemed with her by his side, smiling more, laughing more, and looking forward to the future rather than dwelling on the past. That's what makes this loss so unbearably tragic for him. At a stage of life when most people want peace, comfort, and the security of a loving partner, Matt has instead been handed heartbreak once more. Losing Karen is not just the end of a relationship, it's the loss of the person who stood beside him in his later years, helping him dream new dreams for the farm, for his family, and for their shared life together. Reports suggest that Matt has been leaning heavily on his children and close friends during these difficult days, though some fans have speculated that he has withdrawn more than usual. Matt has always been a fighter, one fan commented on social media, but you can see in his eyes how broken he is this time. Another wrote, he lost Amy years ago to divorce, and now he's lost Karen to something permanent. How much can one man handle? The emotional toll is clear. At 63 years old, Matt is not only mourning Karen's absence in his day-to-day life, but also grappling with the reality of growing older without her companionship. Friends close to the Roloff family have hinted that Matt has been struggling to sleep, and some fans have noticed his rare but raw social media posts where he shares quiet reflections about love, loss, and resilience. While none of these messages explicitly mention Karen, many believe they are his way of reaching out for support without putting his grief fully into words. One particularly moving post that caught attention was a simple photograph of the farmhouse at sunset. Matt captioned it, "Some days feel longer than others. Tonight feels endless." Fans flooded the comments section with love and support, with thousands writing messages of encouragement and sharing their own stories of loss. It became clear that Matt's heartbreak has touched people far beyond his immediate circle. It has resonated with viewers who have followed his journey for nearly 2 decades on Little People, Big World. For longtime fans, this isn't just Matt losing Karen. It feels like the Roloff family losing another cornerstone. Amy may have remarried and found happiness with Chris, but Karen was the one who stood beside Matt in his later chapters. Without her, the question many fans are now asking is, where does Matt go from here? What's undeniable is that this heartbreak will leave lasting marks. Losing Karen has reopened old wounds while creating new ones, and the man who once dreamed of expanding Roloff Farms with her is now left standing in silence, facing the future alone. The passing of Caryn Chandler has left the Roloff family in shock, and the ripple effects of this tragedy are being felt in every corner of their world. The Roloffs, already no strangers to family tensions and public scrutiny, are now navigating a moment of grief that is both deeply personal and unavoidably public. For Zach and Tori Roloff, Karen's loss is more than just a headline. It's the loss of a woman who had become a grandmotherly figure to their children. Despite past disagreements within the family, Zach and Tori reportedly feel nothing but heartbreak for Matt. Tori has often been protective of her family, but even she has shared moments of compassion online, reflecting on how fragile life can be. The couple is said to be rallying behind Matt in his darkest hours, even if it means putting aside lingering family tensions. Jeremy and Audrey Roloff, too, are believed to be reeling from the news. Although their relationship with Matt and Karen had been complicated in recent years, grief has a way of stripping away barriers. Audrey, who often shares her faith openly, has reportedly leaned into prayer and messages of hope, offering words of encouragement not just to Matt, but to the extended family. Jeremy, who grew up on Roloff Farms and knows firsthand the challenges of carrying the family legacy, is said to be struggling with the thought of his father facing life without Karen at his side. Then, there is Amy Roloff, Matt's former wife. Their relationship was never simple, but in moments like this, history often fades into the background. Fans believe Amy has been offering comfort, showing her compassion despite the years of divorce, remarriage, and complicated emotions. After all, Amy knew Karen too, and she understands more than anyone what Matt is going through, the pain of losing a partner after years of building a life together. For Amy, it's not about the past anymore. It's about supporting the father of her children in a time when he needs it most. The most delicate part of this tragedy, however, lies with the grandchildren. Jackson, Ember, Lila, Bode, and the rest of the Roloff grandchildren are still so young, yet they are witnessing the weight of grief on their parents and grandparents. For Matt, the challenge now is not only coping with his own loss, but also explaining it to children who looked up to Karen as a loving figure in their lives. Families often struggle to find the right words in such moments. How do you explain to a child why someone they love is no longer there? Early reports suggest that the Roloffs are coming together to create a message of love and remembrance, ensuring the children remember Karen not with sadness, but with the joy she brought into their lives. Meanwhile, fans across the globe have been pouring out messages of sympathy and support. Social media platforms are flooded with hashtags like #PrayersForMatt and #RememberingKaren. Viewers who have followed the Roloff family for nearly 2 decades are expressing not just condolences, but also heartfelt stories of how Karen's presence on the show touched them. Some fans recall her humor and warmth on screen, while others highlight her role in supporting Matt through years of farm projects, health struggles, and family drama. The fan base is rallying, sending virtual flowers, condolences, and prayers. Many are urging TLC to air a special tribute episode honoring Karen's life and her impact on both the Roloff family and the audience that welcomed her into their homes. It's a reminder that for the Roloffs, grief is not private. It is shared, magnified, and felt by millions who have come to see them as more than just reality TV stars, but as extended family. As the Roloff family begins to process the reality of Caryn Chandler's absence, one question looms heavily over everyone. What happens now? For Matt Roloff, Karen wasn't just a partner. She was the person who had become a cornerstone of his personal happiness and daily routine. Without her, Matt faces a new chapter of life that feels daunting, and for many fans, the question is whether he will even want to continue the same way on the farm or in front of cameras. Roloff Farms itself is bound to feel the weight of this loss. Karen had long been a quiet but steady force in helping Matt run events, interact with fans, and maintain a sense of family-centered tradition on the land. Her absence could mark a turning point, forcing Matt to either double down on preserving the farm's legacy or consider stepping back altogether. Some close followers of Little People, Big World have even speculated whether this tragedy might accelerate the possibility of selling Roloff Farms, something that has already been debated within the family for years. Without Karen's support, will Matt have the strength or desire to carry on the farm's demanding responsibilities? Then there's the show itself. Little People, Big World has always intertwined the personal lives of its stars with the legacy of the farm. Karen had become a central figure in recent seasons, and her sudden absence leaves a major gap. How will TLC address this? Will they devote a special tribute episode to her memory, honoring the role she played in Matt's later life? Or will they shift focus entirely, redirecting attention to Amy, Chris, or even the next generation of Roloffs? Whatever direction TLC takes, the network will need to navigate this with sensitivity, as fans are deeply invested in the human stories behind the Roloff name. The broader impact on the Roloff legacy cannot be understated. Karen had, in many ways, been a bridge between Matt and a future beyond his divorce from Amy. She represented healing, companionship, and a chance for him to build something new. With her gone, that bridge feels fragile. Yet sometimes, loss has a way of shifting family dynamics in unexpected ways. Could Karen's passing actually bring the fractured Roloff family closer together? Zach, Tori, Jeremy, and Audrey have all had their share of disagreements with Matt in recent years, but moments of grief can unite people across even the widest divides. Fans are already wondering if this will be the moment the Roloffs finally come together, putting aside past bitterness for the sake of love and healing. On the other hand, grief can also deepen fractures. If Karen was the glue that helped Matt navigate strained relationships, her absence could leave wounds even more exposed. Will Matt retreat further into isolation? Or will he extend a hand to his children, seeking comfort in their presence? Only time will tell how the family navigates this defining moment. What remains clear is that Karen Chandler's passing has not only left a hole in Matt Roloff's heart, but has reshaped the very future of the Roloff family, the farm, and the show that has defined them for nearly 2 decades. Fans of Little People, Big World are heartbroken today. Caryn Chandler, a familiar face to viewers for over a decade, has been at the heart of the Roloff family story. From her early days as a farm manager on Roloff Farms, quietly working behind the scenes, to becoming Matt Roloff's trusted partner and eventually his fiancée, Karen's journey has been filled with love, challenges, and unforgettable memories. She wasn't just Matt's companion. She became an integral part of the Roloff legacy, shaping both the farm's future and Matt's personal happiness. As we come to the end of this emotional story, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered. Caryn Chandler's passing marks not only a deeply personal loss for Matt Roloff, but also a heartbreaking turning point for the entire Roloff family. We've looked at Matt's grief, the family's reactions, and the ripple effect this tragedy has had across the Little People, Big World community. For fans who have followed Karen's journey over the years, from her beginnings as a farm manager to her role as Matt's partner, to becoming a central figure in the Roloff legacy, this loss feels especially heavy. The Roloff family has weathered many challenges, from divorces and family rifts to financial struggles and the uncertainty of the farm's future. But Karen's absence creates a void unlike any other, a silence that cannot be replaced. As we consider what lies ahead, one thing is clear: Karen's memory will continue to live on. Whether through the love she shared with Matt, the laughter she brought into the Roloff family's lives, or the impact she left on fans who saw her resilience and strength, her legacy remains powerful. The Roloffs now face the difficult task of moving forward, honoring Karen's memory while navigating life without her. This is truly a heartbreaking chapter in the Roloff family story. Caryn Chandler's passing leaves behind a void that can never be filled, but her memory will live on in the hearts of Matt, the Roloff family, and the countless fans who followed her journey. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.